Well, hello there, humans, hippies, earthlings, whoever you are, wherever you are, whatever you're doing, and whoever you're doing it to. I hope you're doing it with a friend. As the great Hot Chocolate, one of the seminal wonder bands of the 70s said, when you're in love with a beautiful woman, you watch your friends. And indeed, that's what we're going to be doing today. We're going to be watching our friends. No, we're not. Well, we kind of will. This is all about just a bit of fun I've been having lately with my mates. Had a really good purple patch of late. Winning a lot of games, winning an awful lot of games, always in Platoon, well, not always, but for the most part, and it's just starting to reach the point where the guys I normally play with, we've got a really good understanding and everything's working very well. And you would have seen the recent Platoon video we did, and that's come up trumps. I think that's been a really successful video, and I hope you guys are getting a little bit of love out of it. But I want to talk about, good on you, Snake. It's the Snake eyes blocking me, trying to get me killed. He always wants the glory, the Snake. Go the Snake. Chappos, I don't have Chappos features here. Bad luck for Chappos. I think Skid's in this one. Sue Skid, he's like nearly 70% win rate player and absolutely hammers along at tier 10 all the time. Snake eyes, maybe someone else. We'll see. Let's go to the videotape and find out. I'm filling in the hours here until I can release official content. I'm just not allowed to at the moment. So I've got all this stuff lined up for you humans, and it'll be coming. And gee, it's going to be a big week this week. There's a couple of good videos going to drop that you're really going to be excited about. So stick around on channel and say g'day as I derp shots into the earth. Now the M103 is a lovely tank. I sucked bananas on this tank when I first got it, and I thought it was a bad tank because I was a bad driver. I only carry 4 heat in this tank because the gun handling on the top tier 120 is absolutely superb. You'll note too on this tank, I only stop to shoot and then keep moving. I never just sit still in it. You're always moving backward and forth, because while it is in fact a very, very strong turret, it's not impervious. And if you give people the opportunity to aim at the weak spots on the cheeks or the pimple on top, you can be very easily penned. However, if you are mobile, agile, and have those ADD fingers where you just never stop going backwards and forwards, this tank can be a surefire winner. Now, we won't bother going all the way through, looking at the Object 704 hunt for the end of that game. We'll just go and have a look at the score sheet quickly, and you'll see there that Snake didn't do very much. Probably because I took the best spot on the map and refused to move even when he was blocking me, and used the gun depression. He was in the Sense 7 Mark 1. That is a brilliant tank for that spot as well. Has a lovely big bit of alpha and very, very, very good penetration numbers. I think about 268 on the APCR pen on the 7 Mark 1. So here we are at tier 10 now. This is Skid and myself on Himmelsdorf. Now the Himmelsdorf is the new map. I love this map. It's got a little bit of something for everyone. Those mounds that you can see there, the rubble mounds, are absolutely brilliant for hull downing in low profile Russian tanks. They really have flattened this map out, but they've left a lot of stuff you can hull down over. And the IS-4 is great at it. The Object 140 absolutely crucifies on this map. Now I've left, you'll see there on my left, a couple of tanks have popped. There's, however, Skid is going to go down there in the 215B, and he's got some support, so I'm going to leave those to him. I think it's really important to press the suit here on the far flank. Now this is a map where the meta is currently really just being set. If I'm in a medium tank on this map, I will always push very, very hard down the right flank as we're looking at it now, or I suppose you'd actually call it the western flank. However, you can see we're sitting up here, we're side scraping on this old IS-4, we've switched over to heat, dropped adrenaline. He is the big dog. We want to make sure we take him out. So we are. Now, they've got a very strong team. What we've done though is, rather than just go the one line, which is this line we're going down straight now, where the heavies meet and you go head on and there's a confrontation. We've flanked around and a couple of our tanks have stayed on that line, held the fort, and then Skid and the rest of the boys are going to come across and have a fight. Now, Skid's in the 215B, which is a superb tank in terms of damage, but quite soft. So I've looked at the IS-4, done what I could, and now I'm looking at that Object 140. He's got all the DPM cake left. I want to get rid of him as soon as possible. Just seeing where Skid's at in terms of hit points and what I've got left around me, and that IS-8's in a terrible position. We'll probably get punished for it. I really want to get a hold of that Object 140, not getting it. Switch back to AP. You'll note too, same as in the M103, and this is a hallmark of your gameplay that you should probably be including. I very, 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 very rarely just sit still. And I always try and prioritise my targets. I went the IS-4 first before, and now I'm going to go the 140 at the expense of this E75. He's a clear wide open shot, and you'll see I get multiple wide open shots. I've set him on fire twice now, that poor 140. Multiple open shots on multiple tanks that I don't take because I want to save them for that 140. I drive one of those things an awful lot, and it will pump 3,000 damage per minute without adrenaline and without a rammer. So, you can get up to 3.5k there, no worries at all. E75 shouldn't have any gold ammunition left at this point in the game. He's in a tier 10 match and he's up against a lot of big tanks, and you can see he's not even looking to pen me. He does not have the penetration right there at that angle. And there's the IS-8. He will get dusted in just a second, and it'll be another win for the good boys. Dose of the hot salts for the Reds there. Good going us. We are the champions, my friend. Skid as usual. This kid can absolutely tear it up. He's a much better player than I am, and it's a pleasure to play with these fellas. In fact, nearly everyone you see is a much better player than I am, because I only play with people that can carry me. I'm just joking. I play with lots of other people that can't carry me. And we don't get carried and we lose. But that doesn't matter. Onwards and upwards. We're now back on Himmelsdorf, but we're looking at it from the perspective of a medium tank. This is Snake Eyes and I in a tier 10 match. Now you see what I'm talking about with those low slung Russian beauties on those rubble mounds. The Russians don't have gun depression, but what they have is a very, very sharp upper glacis and nose. So if you turn them at a severe angle, they can be difficult to pen. Now I've switched over to a bit of heat here, and there you go. We're going to get stuck into this fella now. That 62A does a really good job there of reading the situation. I wanted to push and be aggressive, and we were. Now the rest of the team, well, you can't really blame them. We've got a whole bunch of medium tanks on this flank, and they're facing up to some pretty big tanks over there, and they're getting pushed. So what I want to do is work it from the back, use those guys as the hammer, and Snake and I are then going to do the business. Now this is a tier 10 game, so if you're in a tier 10 game and you're in a T54, you want to use the mobility as much as possible, because, geez, I mean, you don't have all the hit points in the world. You have decent, very, very decent damage per minute, but there's a lot of hit points to get through on IS-7s and the like. Anyway, there's our second little contribution to the world, and you'll note now we're rolling forward into the chicanes, or the little rubble mounds, the slopes down. The 54, the 140, the 62A, the 44, they all love the T59. These little slopes that run down towards the ground, and they tail off gently so that you can hide your upper glacis behind them. Now I want to speak to just something very important in the game here, and it's going to become prevalent in the next couple of games as well, particularly in the last game I show you, where Snake goes hog wild in the STB1, the new Japanese tier 10 medium. Distance can equal damage, particularly when you're dealing with big heavy tanks coming towards very fast, quick-firing medium tanks. And this E3 and IS-7 is a prime example of that, as we put one straight through the drive wheel into the front-mounted engine of that poor old Panther. They don't have to cover a lot of distance, but it's enough where I can pull back and constantly get shots at these guys without having them get a shot at me. And if you can do that enough, you can add it up to enormous amounts of damage. And then you do things like this, where you take out a drive wheel and get them stuck there because they don't have a repair kit, and you have enough DPM and rate of fire to just dust them. And it's something that I think I've really started to incorporate into my game, is making sure that I maintain maximum distance wherever possible with tanks that have big guns that can hurt me, and use that distance to actually put the damage in as they come towards me. If they're actually, like the last tank worked, you might want to be up close to them, and sometimes being closer is a lot safer than being further away. And that's one of the reasons why you're in a tank destroyer and you see a medium like me, don't drive towards them if you're in good cover, because all you're doing is cutting down the distance before they can circle of death you. But if you're in a medium tank and there's 2 versus 5 or 2 versus 4, and they have to come towards you, then life is a lot simpler. And you can see they're nearly 5k in a tier 10 game. With 4 kills will get you the mastery in the 54. It's that tier X thing that's the real factor there. I'll speak more to that distance versus damage thing, but it's something in the last game, but it's something that's really important when you're driving mediums to take advantage of. There's a psyche in the game, a mindset where if you get hit by someone, you immediately want to hit them back. And when you're a medium at long range and you start frustrating heavier, bigger tanks with bigger guns, they will start driving towards you to close that distance and bring you to grapple. And if you play it well and intelligently, you can usually take all their hit points away by the time they get there. And you'll see what I'm talking about very soon. Now this one's interesting. We've got our favourite spot here in the corner on the other revamped map from patch 2.4, Temple. And Snake's gone straight to it, but their entire team bum rushes him. I've cut very shallow through this lower area here, because the last thing I want is to leave him on his own. I don't want to go all the way around the medium spawn and come back behind him. I want to come in on the flank so that if he does get in trouble, I can put supporting fire in, or at the very least use Snake's hit points to decide the outcome of the game. And actually that's what we do. We've also trying to hit that IS-8. He's going to be our first target, or our prime target for the moment. Snake is getting absolutely rushed. It's like Christmas shopping in there. He is getting it from all and sundry. It's a bit like, yeah, I'm not going to say that. Anyway, the IS-8, remember how we talked about gun depression? Good luck getting your gun down here, IS-8. You cannot depress that gun far enough to put a shot into me at that range. The KV is moving forward. He's got not a lot of penetration on that gun, and we're just taking shots as we get them. All those shots into the side of tanks, I mean, look at them. Just so many targets. It's a target-rich environment. Snake's dead. He did a great job, and I'm not worried at all about showing stuff where he's getting poled, because he's going to get to shine in the last game. You'll see what I mean in a tick. Tiger 2, ta-ta. The ST1, you might be wondering where he is, and so was I, but he decided that because he was quite slow, he didn't cut sharp and hard through. He went right back through the medium spawn and took a long time to get there as he sniped down the barrel. We switch over to Heat, because if he doesn't want to give us anything to shoot at, that's fine. We'll just shoot at the tiny little bit that's available there. The gun handling on the M103 is dandy. Snake starts backseat quarterbacking me here. Starts telling me how to play, just in case. I mean, it's only 6 on 2, so Snake's going to give me the word. This is how you should do it, mad Russian bear. And they've got 2 left, but not for long. Woohoo! Rolling down. So you can see Snake sacrificed his body for the cause, which was great and justly done. He really got. There's a great corner there. If you haven't used it on, it'll be more in an official wargaming vid that's coming out later in the week probably. But there's a corner there that is absolutely amazing, and you really need to be using it. Now this is a tier 10 match, an interesting one because Snake's in the STB1, the Japanese medium. I'm driving the Object 140, which is currently my favoured tier 10 med. It's a very, very strong tank and partners up specifically well with a tank with good gun depression like the STB1 does, where you can work ridge lines with the STB1 while I work and push out on flanks and spot targets. And I'm strong enough and tough enough to do that without doing it too much at all in terms of damage to myself. That 44 did a very odd spotting job up there, just kind of climbed up. We're a tank down already. I duffed this shot, and then half my team buggers off and tunnels a tier 8 medium in a tier 10 match. And that's just what happens. I'm still not spotted, so I'm wondering where everyone is. And you can see Snake and I, we're a lot more patient than these other guys. We're trying to figure out where they all are. But the guys in town are in a terrible spot. Town is not the way to go on this map. I've moved back around here because Snake's got a great tank to work the ridge lines and a bit of gun depression. And I'm going to use this camouflage here to try and support these guys. Now we've got to switch to heat to pen that E100, and we do. They're in all sorts. We're switching back to APCR here. Now I don't always do it. I try to switch ammunition types as pen is needed. And it's not always the easiest thing in the world to do, but it saves you cash. And you can see I only carry 5 heat on the Object 140 anyway, but you need it. And I could certainly, I never finish a match when I've run out of heat and gone, geez, I'm glad I didn't have any more heat. I could have used it, but it's just, I'm a bit averse to blowing all my money. And you can see the STB1 is getting shots here, accidental firing. The STB1 is getting shots here over that ridgeline so comfortably. 10 degrees of gun depression. Snake absolutely loves that tank, and I've got to say, every time we've played in it, he has torn it up. It's now 6-on-3, but our last, you can see all the way over there, our last fighting machine, apart from the platoon, is gone. Now there are 5v2. Remember how I talked about distance can equal damage? Snake is on that ridge line. Now this is a lovely thing. I'm going to go straight to the flank on this E100 and draw him around. Snake's going to hit him there. There's an E75 there, and we're going to hit him from 2 different directions. So they've got an E3 still over there somewhere that I'm a little bit worried about, and he's going to pop up just on the left in a little bit. This is what I mean, and it's a brilliant part of it. Now I should have probably kept moving there. If you don't move, you die. But the STB1 has 10 degrees of gun depression. He is getting over that ridge line. You can see Snake there, and even though I'm getting decent shots in and a decent amount, 2 easy shots I gave that 75. Snake is absolutely carving it up. Now there's all 3 of them are there. We've got distance, and they keep marching forward towards you. Now good players won't tend to do that, but not everyone has the wherewithal to do that. And there we go. That sharp upper glacis, that's what I'm talking about with this tank. Just very, very good at bouncing shots, the Russian meds. And we're spotting everything here for Snake. You can see the distance that IS-7 wants to come across. Snake has shots on him. The E3, Snake's just taken out the IS-8. We've whittled it down from 5 to 2 to 2 each, and we are now in the ascendancy. And the IS-7 has tried to push and move forward because he is so frustrated, and closing that distance just means that we get to choose when he gets hit, and he doesn't really get to bring battle to bear. I'm just trying to spot the IS-7 here for my compatriot over there. I don't have the gun depression to get down there. And there we go. We've whittled it all the way back to a 2-on-1 situation. The IS-7 is in the cap, and I'm going to do what I'd like to call the smart thing here. I am just going to keep his attention until Snake manages to hook around. Let's see. Now Snake is going to draw his attention. He's going to turn, and I will then have shots into the side of the IS-7. There's my last round of heat. It's a bugger to pen the IS-7. It really is. some shots that look like they should absolutely go in every time just don't. And then other days you just pen with everything with it. And Snake's doing the right thing. He's just look at that. Where'd that go? I mean, that doesn't pen. You just got to think. It's into the side. That's 268 pen on an APCR. Now, APCR doesn't normalise, and I know there's spaced armour there, but that shouldn't be taking all that pen. It's just the track seat a little bit. Anyway, there you go. Very, very handy game. Snake with a mastery in that game. How about those ridge lines and working it in the STB1? It's a very, very, very nice tank. I only did about 3.6, but Snake did 6,623, 1,705 base XP, and you can see there, lovely stats for that man. The mastery, the pulls, the top gun, the sniper. Oh, it goes on and on and on. Great game to finish on. Look, there's more coming, guys. There's a lot more coming, and if you just stick around and stay on channel, you'll see a lot of good stuff in the very near future. But I'm also thinking of doing actually a challenge thing, a challenge video where I roll, say, the IS-4 with the Tier 7 gun, or try and win a game using nothing but HE in a Tier 9 match. Stuff like that, just for fun and giggle. So look out for that kind of thing. There's a few reviews coming up, and I actually might be buying back tanks. I haven't ground the Japanese line just because I don't have time. I thought I was going to grind that line, and I just don't have the time. I had 60,000 free XP, and I got it up to Tier 5, and I've just not gone back to it. I've not really played any of them. It's just a punish now, but I'm almost at the point where I just don't have time to grind tanks. It's not realistic doing the videos, work, kids, family, the whole 9 yards, and still grind a line of tanks. Anyway, boys, girls, humans, hippies, earthlings, wombats, other marsupials, things that go bump in the night, I hope you've all been lovely and well-mannered today, and Santa's going to be good to you. If you don't believe in Father Christmas, that's all right with me. I hope you just have a good holidays if you're having holidays. And if you're not having holidays, well, that sucks. You should probably be having holidays. I've been Bushka on Blitz. You've been bloody lovely. As always, stay safe on the battlefield.